Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Hong Kong will close all schools from Monday after the territory reported a new spike in locally transmitted COVID-19 infections. 147 new cases were reported in the territory over the past 7 days, a record for the area in such a short time. The outbreak comes as new infections have swept other cities that had previously looked to have brought the pandemic under control, such as Australia's second largest city, Melbourne. Meanwhile, Italy has banned entry to people coming from 13 countries that it had said presented an excessive rate of COVID-19 infections. The ban applies to everyone who has spent any time in any of those countries within the past 2 weeks. And the first coronavirus case has been confirmed in Idlib in northwest Syria, sparking fears the resulting outbreak could have devastating effects in the overcrowded refugee camps in the region. Around 6 million people in total are estimated to be internally displaced in the country. Iran's capital has been hit by another explosion, with the latest blast reportedly at a missile plant to the west of Tehran. This unverified footage was uploaded to Twitter by a user claiming this was the 7th explosion to hit Tehran in the last 10 days and that it caused a power outage. Officials have denied those reports, saying that power cuts were related to the routine activities of the local energy company. Key sites, including nuclear facilities and oil refineries, have been damaged in recent incidents in the country. China's embassy in Kazakhstan has warned its citizens to take precautions against an outbreak of pneumonia in the country that the embassy says is more lethal than COVID-19. The diplomatic mission said there had been a significant increase in the number of cases of a form of pneumonia of unknown origin. Kazakhstan's healthcare ministry branded this as fake news. However, Kazakh state news agency reported this week the number of pneumonia cases had increased more than twofold in June as compared to the same period last year. The mayor of the South Korean capital Seoul, Park Won-soon, has been found dead hours after his daughter filed a missing report to police. Mr. Park was found on a mountain near the capital's suburbs. Local officials released a note that the mayor had left on his desk before he was found. The apparent suicide came after one of Mr. Park's former secretaries filed a complaint alleging the 64-year-old had sexually harassed her. Malaysian police have summoned reporters and staff of the news broadcaster Al Jazeera for questioning over a documentary on the country's arrests of undocumented migrants. Police have said they're investigating potential sedition, defamation and violation of the country's Communications and Multimedia Act. The journalist's lawyers said his clients refute the charges. Rights groups have raised concerns over crackdowns on media freedoms under Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin's government, which came to power in March. Police have fired tear gas at demonstrators in Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where thousands marched against the appointment of the new Independent Electoral Commission chairman. In the capital, demonstrators tore down the walls of one of the offices of the former president, Joseph Kabila's party, and marched towards the Parliament building before being dispersed by police firing tear gas. One opposition party has accused Ronsard Malonda of helping former President Kabila to rig the elections. Botswana wildlife officials have discovered 6 more carcasses of elephants which have died in unknown circumstances. Local officials are currently investigating hundreds of unexplained elephant deaths, and it's still not clear what is killing the animals around 2 months after the first bodies were found. Authorities said they were expecting to receive test results this week on samples sent to South Africa and Canada. For the first time since they were designed to protect Venice from rising tides, Project Mossa has been tested in a public demonstration of the strength of the defences. The multi-billion euro system of 78 yellow mobile barriers that can be lowered or raised according to the water levels was started in 1984, but it has been plagued for years with delays and rising costs. The tests come after Venice was hit by the worst floods in more than 50 years, which left the historic St. Mark's Square submerged. Project Mossa is not expected to be fully functional until next year. And finally, in Switzerland, Zurich Zoo has presented its new baby white rhino to the world. Called Ushindi, it's only 2 months old. White rhinos are critically endangered in the wild, mainly due to poaching. But Ushindi is safe in the zoo and was a hit not only with the viewing public, but also with the zoo's zebras, who seemed particularly curious to check out the new arrival. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.